In this lesson, we are looking at two residential energy credits that were set to expire, but now have been extended all the way to 2032, but under different names. One of these credits will be in scope, and the others will be out of scope. Let's start with the credit that is in scope. This used to be called the Non-Business Energy Property Credit, but has been renamed the Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit. Taxpayers are eligible to take this credit when they have made certain improvements to their main home that make it more energy efficient. This could be things like new HVAC systems, insulation, metal or asphalt roofs, non-solar water heaters, or energy efficient windows and doors. Residential energy credits are reported on Form 5695. Part 1 is the Residential Clean Energy Credit. This is the credit that is out of scope. We will talk a little bit more about this on the next slide. And it will make more sense why the water heaters on the last slide couldn't be solar. Part 2 is the Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit, which is in scope for VITA, and it's the credit we just introduced on that last slide. So looking at Part 1, we do need to look at Part 1 because we need to recognize if clients come in that have made these kind of purchases and installed them into their homes so that we can let them know that they should go seek a paid preparer to get their best tax benefit. But we won't actually be preparing a return with this type of credit on it. So this credit is specifically for solar electric systems, solar water heating. Again, water heaters, energy efficient water heaters count for the credit that's in scope, but not solar ones. If they are solar, we need to be sending our clients to a paid preparer. Any small wind energy systems or geothermal heat pump property costs. So again, those we're sending our clients on to get their best benefit with a paid tax preparer. On to Part 2 again. That's our Energy Efficient Home Improvement Credit. When our taxpayers come in with those purchases that we talked about at the beginning, like HVAC or roofing or windows, generally the homeowners can rely on the manufacturer's certifications that their products qualify for the credit. And usually there would be some kind of certificate that they got with the purchase documents that the taxpayers would then bring in to show us. But if the taxpayers don't have the certificate or they don't know if their purchase qualifies, we can always look it up on EnergyStar.gov, and there is a list there of all the products that can count towards the credit. And as with all credits, there are some limitations. So it's important to note that this is for an existing main home only. So the main home is the home that the taxpayer is living in and using mainly for their home. So it's not a second home or a vacation home or a rental home. It's their main home. And then the existing part, it doesn't, taxpayers can't claim this credit for new construction, and not if they are renting the home, they won't be able to claim the credit. This is also not for expenditures that were paid with federal, state, or local subsidized financing. So a lot of times some of these energy efficient improvements, there will be some sort of a government subsidized financing that that clients could have taken out to help fund this. If that's the case, we can't use these expenditures for the credit. And then site preparation and installation costs might or might not be included or includable in the credit, expenditures for the credit. So you'll definitely want to see Form 5695 instructions if you have a client come in that you had significant installation costs, just to make sure that it's the type of property that that is allowed to include those installation costs. And then we have some monetary limitations. The total amount that the taxpayers can claim for these improvements is $500, $200 for windows, since 2005, the inception of the credit, even under its previous names. So to figure the limitation, you will need to ask how much the taxpayers have previously taken since 2005 and subtract that from $500 to figure the allowable credit in the current year. It is also important to note that taking this credit will reduce the adjusted basis of the home. So when they made the improvement, it would have added to the basis, but in taking the credit, they are now reducing some or all of that addition. And then some other monetary limitations. The max amount that can be claimed for an advanced main air circulating fan is $50. $150 is the maximum that can be claimed for a qualified natural gas, propane or oil furnace or hot water boiler. And $300 is the maximum amount for any item of energy efficient building property. So, for instance, if they added insulation, the maximum amount they could take for that insulation is the $300. If they installed multiple things, then they could add this together up to their maximum amount.